Alright, so this time let's start improving our game over a little bit and actually have a menu that will display our score. That'd be quite nice. So to do this, we're going to make a widget, but we're going to need a button, or maybe more than one button. Now, the thing with buttons is we're going to just make, we'll probably just do one button with a variation on it. And we're going to sort of do it properly and with a button in two states, like an inactive state and then a pressed state. We're not going to worry about hovering because it's sort of based on a mobile game anyway. So here's one I just mocked up in Photo P. I put the purple background on it so you can actually see it. But it's a canvas of 13162 by 132, and like I say, you want two states. So this is going to be my unbutton press, and then a darker version, which is just my button press. So it's going to sort of toggle between. So just to quickly give you sort of a quick show of what that would look like, I would just get a shape tool like the rectangle. Try and throw a more accurate box down than that. We can set the color up here. We can add a stroke to it, and there's a bunch of different sort of stuff you can sort of mess about with that if you wanted to try different things. Don't forget we can also use the pen tool as well, because this is a vector shape. So just holding Control and Shift, I can pull that corner in. I could hold Alt as well and pull that side up and give it a nice sort of rounded curve on that side if I wanted to. So you can sort of tweak and edit your shape and refine it as much as you want, and that's sort of loosely how I got to this is just a square, more or less, with some edges and then a cool overlay on top. So once you've got your two versions, again, make sure you've turned your background layer off, because that's only there to help us see. So once you get your two versions, you're going to want to export these out as like button 1, button 2 PNGs. Button 1. And then hide that layer, bring this layer back up, and then export PNG. So, take a second, pause your video, go ahead and make some buttons. Okay, back inside Unreal, let's go to a UI folder, if you've got one. You hopefully should have got one, and let's import those two buttons. So now we've got our two buttons down here, we're going to need to create another widget. And we've already done one of these before in this video series, but let's go over it again. So go to User Interface, create a widget blueprint, and call it Game Over _W. Okay, double click it to open it up. We give it a second. Oh, maybe I didn't double click it. Cool. So inside here, we want to add a canvas panel if we don't already have one, and this represents like our screen. Again, maybe you want to sort of add like a nice backdrop to this or something, but see, if you've got like an image would probably be quite nice. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to add a block and make it sort of mostly black and a little bit see-through. And we can go ahead and add some text. Let's say Game Over, yeah. Which is a reference to Sega Rally Championship, which is a game that you've probably not played, but that's okay. Cool. Put you there, like that, nice in the middle. We're going to want another text to display our score here. There's a way to do this better, but for now we'll just use two text boxes while we're learning. We'll call this one score. Put you there. We'll tweak that in a sec, but let's say it's the same size, 50. Put you over there. Cool. And then let's also go ahead and add our button. Now it's the time that we wish we remembered what size it was. I feel like I don't remember. It's fine. Let's hover over it. 362 by 132. 362 by 132. Now it wasn't. That's actually quite small. There wasn't too much logic when I made this. I probably could have. Yeah, well, there was. I was going to do it with potentially like a lot of buttons. The plan was to have like buttons across the bottom, and have 4 of them. So I wanted them to fit. So if you want to make it bigger, we could just times that by 1.4. Let's times it by 1.4, and you can actually just type that equation in here, and it'll round it up for you, which is quite nice. It's a bit better, but let's actually do times 1.5. Why have these numbers not gone back to what they were? What was it? Memorize these numbers, John. 362, 132. 362, 132. It's because I just changed the wrong size of the thing. That's fine. Times 1.5. Times 1.5. I like to type in the numbers that way because if you just stretch it, you are going to end up breaking your aspect ratio. Excuse me, sorry about that. Alright, so now we've got this button, and we'll put it over here, and we've got this button, and it's going to do things. What things is it going to do? Well, if we scroll down, why don't we have an event? Here, we should have an event. Let's go to our graph. And let's go button down. Why is that button? Oh, it's because it's an image. Sorry folks, my bad. I was like, why doesn't it have a button interaction? It's because we need to drag a button in first. See, I've done this a million times and I still make mistakes. I could edit this out, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to. So the values are actually still the same, so 543, 198, 543. Oh my god, John, your short-term memory is horrific. 198. Alright. Now, with this button selected, we are going to scroll into appearance and style, and we've got our normal button press, so it's going to be normal, and then we're going to get a pressed version as well, because we're not doing hovered. I mean, if you want to, for a mouse version, we could put that in there too. Cool. Okay, and now let's delete this one, because that was me being a fool of a toque. Alright, so now we've got this button. We can pop some text on there as well if you want to. Let's rename that to restart. And make it a bit bigger. And question why it's not got a capital. Okay. So we've got this button. Now if we scroll to the bottom, we should get the option to say on pressed. Yes. Cool. On pressed. We can now, I like to do things on a bit of a delay, so we can actually sort of, if we've got like a sound effect, we can play a sound effect here. Play sound 2D. But I don't have any sound effects in here right now, so I'm not going to do that. And then let's open level. And we'll just do it by object reference. And we've only got one map in here, so that's easy. So now we've got a button. This game over thing's starting to come together. Now we're just going to need it to pop up. So where did we do the player die? Did we do it on the blueprints or did we do it on the actual player? Well, we've got two thingies. We might end up moving these, but for now, we've just done it here. We'll probably put a game over function in our player to save us having to do this based on lots of things. So shall we do that now? Or shall we do that another time? and just do we'll just do the easy thing now. Oh, shall we? Where did we do the high score? Why don't I remember these things? Because it's been a week. I'm just going to find where my player is and find where we're saving the score. I bet the score's on the widget, isn't it? See, John, this is why you do things in the proper way first time around. Okay, we're just going to do it in here for now. So, no, we'll do it in here. So, sorry, I'm umming and ahhing and going everywhere. So, on our third person character, let's start to do things properly. We're going to create a custom event. So, right click in some space, create a custom event, which we'll call Game Over or Dead. And in here, we just want to create widget. And we want to create our new Game Over widget. So just to create it doesn't mean it's displaying, so we need to add it to viewport. And you know what? Let's also pause the game. Set game paused. So things are spawning and happening. Right, now we've got this Game Over system that exists on our player. We can actually just call to it, so we could just say Game Over. Like that. Now what that's going to do is, once it overlaps with the electric gate, it's going to say, hey, are we overlapping with the third person? Cool, third person has a function called Game Over, let's call it. And let's do the same thing on our missile. Game Over. Okay, and let's quickly give that a test, shall we? It might look off to the left, it's because we're not in full screen mode. If I press F11 to go to full screen, there you go. We can sort of see what it looks like now. And if I move my mouse over, ooh, we're not showing mouse. We'll have to show mouse in a sec. We can press restart. Cool. So yes, it's because we wasn't in F11. Right. On the Game Over, on the character, let's also show mouse. Where are you? We might have to untick context sensitive. Set show mouse cursor. And don't forget to retick that back on. It's going to say error because we've not got a target. Well, let's get the player controller. Cool. Okay, that should fix that. Almost all done with this. I know this one's going on a little bit. Also, my widget was ugly. Let me grab all of you guys. Move you down here a bit closer. Make my background a little bit darker. Like that. That should be a touch nicer for now. Last thing we need to do is bind this value to a score. So let's go to our graph and let's create a new variable in the graph by pressing over here and call it final score. This video's been a bit complicated, hasn't it? Got quite a few things going on. It's going to be a type float, and let's go ahead and hit compile. Alright, now we've created this, if we click on text block where it says bind, we can bind that to our final score. In Unreal 4 you used to be able to just choose that. So, sorry, all I've done there is, I was just thinking back, you used to be able to just click down and it'd come with the option. But anyway, we can just drag final score into the return value, like that. And that'll do a conversion for it, and that'll do. But at the moment, it's just going to say 0, because we need to set final score. So, that'll be on our other widget. And let's open it, and where are we setting the score? In here. We've got get text, and we've got score. And we've got this, which is updating our score. So, we need to get this value and send it across when thingy is created. So normally you would actually save the score system in the widget. You'd probably save the score system on the player, which would make it easy to send the information. back and forth, but it's fine. We can work around it. It's not a big deal breaker. What we need to do is we need to, so back on our third person character, sorry, we want to get all widgets of class, because we've only got the one widget, and that is our score system. And we're just going to pull the get off this, get a copy, 0, because we've only got the one value in there, and we're going to get score. Right now, with our reference to our game over widget here, we're going to want a set final score. Set final score. And drag this to the end, like that, YU into U like that. So we're getting the score system off the widget, and we're going to print it there. Alright, let me quickly test it, and I'll put that back on screen in a sec. Drop. Cool. So you can see 57. It's actually slightly different here because at that delay, you know, that 2-second delay. But what are you going to do? That'll do for now. Right. So I appreciate that was a little bit complicated. A little bit probably more complicated than I thought it was going to be. So our game over system, we create a widget, add it to viewpoint. We're pausing the game, stop things moving in the background. We might actually just put an explosion effect on that later on, instead of pausing it. Maybe, you know, get the play to explode or something. Get all widgets of class, saying that's our final score, and then we've got a game over widget here. Obviously, I've just put a black image in the background. It'd be nice with the nicer image. Maybe you'd have other buttons like main menu and stuff like that. But that's the gist. Sorry that this video ended up being a bit of a long one, but hey ho. Thanks for sticking it out.